All right. Today was in fact interview day, and I will say this: I think it went by pretty well. Um, it did. The only problem, well, two problems, but one of them is an actual problem. The other one is stupid. So problem number one, and I feel like the biggest issue with it was the fact that I was getting grilled over my work history. So she was all like, "You look like you worked for two different places for 3 months," and I'm just like, "Yes." And she was like, "Explain that, bitch." And that is understandable because the truth is I got fired from both of those places just because I mean, several reasons. I'm not gonna really get into it. But yeah, a lot of it was my fault. I didn't like hurt no one or anything. But a lot of it was also a management issue where they were like really gaslighting me to get fired. But like basically I did something that they didn't like, and then they were like on my ass to get me fired, you know? So it was like a good portion my fault, but also them as well. But anyway, I didn't tell them all that because ain't nobody asked for all that. I just said, best lies have truths hidden in them. So I said, it was just the work hours. It was just like these other technical issues that just didn't make me look as bad, which was true, but that wasn't the main reason. I was kind of just hiding that because obviously I'm gonna hide that. I'm applying for a job. I'm not gonna fucking sit here and be like, oh yeah, they fired me because they didn't like me because I was doing things wrong. Come on, bro. I'm not gonna say that. I mean, I probably could have, but like it was just a really thin line to tread to the point where I would try to avoid it as much as I can. You know what I mean? So aside from that, the interview went very, very well. Like I was able to talk about what I wanted to do. I answered every question very quickly. And the only issue with my responses was I felt like they were pretty long. I talked for like a good few minutes per response. But I basically got to the point. I answered the question well, and I made some good points, and I felt like I sounded like a genuine competent nurse. Like I don't know, like I felt like I just made pretty good arguments, pretty good claims, pretty valid points that were like unique to me, that were honest, very unique, and not just cookie cutter. I'm a nurse because I like helping people. You know what I mean? Like I felt like it was actually deep. Like with actual, real experiences and like supporting my answers. I'm not gonna get into the meat and potatoes of it here, but I feel like I did a pretty good job in that regard. I really do feel like my work history, like them just looking at my work history, they're just gonna be like, nah, But I guess you could make the argument that they wouldn't go forward with the interview if they don't like my work history. So that's true as well, but I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, they're definitely asking for some stuff, and I was kind of just like, So yeah, I don't know, but either way, regardless of what happens, if I get hired, fantastic. And by the way, they're fine. Like the ICU, it's fine. Like the worst parts about it is the fact that they're not seeing the sickest. Okay, they are seeing sick patients in certain regards, but they're not seeing every sick patient. The sick patients that are really bad get transferred out, which was obvious. Like no shit. It's a 12-bed ICU, but they only see 6 to 8 patients, and I'm just like, whoa, that's hella low. What the heck? However, still like ICU. If I were to be a PCU nurse there, it's specifically because I'm floating, and they float like 1 to 2 times a month, it seemed like, which is fine. That's tolerable. It's like 1 every 10 shifts. That's not bad. It's whatever. They do see very sick patients. They do have ventilators. They have drips out the ass. So it seems like it's all right. Satisfactory experience. So yeah, it definitely seems fine in that regard. Like I'm not mad about it. If I get hired, then I'll take it. They are strictly 1 to 2, which is solid. I mean, I hope I don't get a 1 to 3. I swear if I do, oh my god, bro, this is the wrong place to work at. But yeah, they seem fine, good enough. But it's a matter of whether or not they get back to me. And if they don't get back to me, then I'm just gonna go ahead and wait till that networking event to like network and talk to people and really see if I can make some connections and get my ass somewhere else. So yeah, so I feel like it went really well. I guess I could talk about the details of the interview, whatever. So she said, the first thing she asked me was just about my work history. She was like, why did you leave your old job? And I'm just like, well, mainly because we were stretching ourselves thin on med surge. I was getting PCU level patients, and I didn't mind the fact that I was getting, okay, I only minded the fact that I got PCU level patients because I already had a med surg assignment to begin with. Like if I wanted PCU patients, I want a PCU assignment. You know what I mean? Like 3 to 4 patient ratio. And because of burnout, I'm not gonna just sit here like because of burnout. You could think I'm weak. I don't care. Burnout, straight up. I was there for a while. I didn't like it. I didn't say that. I just said burnout because that shit is real. That shit is freaking real. And then she asked me about like how do I cope with burnout and all that, and I gave her actual examples of me talking about hanging out with friends, family, and exercise. And then she said, well, when you move out here, you're not gonna have any of that. So how are you gonna cope now? And I'm just like, well, I've been doing a good job at like meeting people online using something called Meetup and been going to a lot of groups to find common interests. So like I feel like I answered it pretty well, and it's true. I have done that, right? Ever since I've graduated from college, I realized how important having a social life is. So I did that. It's absolutely 100% true. No lies or anything. And then what else did she talk about? Then she asked me some other questions about, like what's the best part about being a nurse? And I'm just like, oh, like I like the fact that you could genuinely like, you are the person that is really making that fundamental change. Like even though there's doctors and other, care people on the care team, I feel like as a nurse, you're making that change. And I gave specific examples. I know it sounds very cliche, but like I gave very specific examples as to why that means that for me. Because I mean, obviously, like, oh, I'm a nurse because I help people, like, duh. But I gave, actual really good examples as to why specifically this case, I believe it in that sense. And then the conversation got pretty interesting, actually, because she said, what's your least favorite part about being a nurse? And I said, the politics and bureaucratic aspect of it. And like, I feel like the reason why this answer was good and bad was because, well, it's good because that shit is true. It's a controversial take, but it's true. But it's bad because it's a controversial take. But I feel like I handled it pretty well. Like I was like, at first I was being very vague because I didn't want to like get into it. And I told her this too. I was like, yeah, like I don't want to get into politics and all that. But just to answer your question, I don't like the politics of it. It has nothing to do with the patients, just more so the politics, And then she asked me to be specific, so I gave her a specific example. I was like, okay, well, we had a nursing meeting once where the people making the policies were literally not even nurses and didn't even work the floor. And I had an issue with that, We had issues with that. And, I just got into like those specifics. And I feel like I had a valid response. Like I wasn't bitching, I wasn't like crying or anything. I felt like it was very logical, it was very organized, and it was very respectful, I feel like when it comes to talking about controversial things, like you have to handle it in that way. And I feel like I handled that pretty well. Like I feel like that response was really good because it was a hot take. Like it was one of those takes that's like a hot take, but pretty real, Well, not really a hot take. I think we all agree. Yeah, never mind. Just forget it. And then what she asked about me? She asked me about like my strengths, and of course I told her about how like she was all like, oh, like why would we hire you over anyone else? And I was like, well, because I'm a leader. Like I have done specific things to make me a leader. I was a resource back in the hospital. I was a resource for other nurses like throughout the hospital, not even my unit, but throughout the hospital as well. In one regard, and then I became a resource at the surgery center, or not became a resource, but I became really good at interpreting EKG. So I just want that to highlight the fact that I'm very good at learning and developing skills, and I want to do that. Like I take work home with me and I freaking, do my research because I want to be better, right? And I'm not lying. Like I've done this before, because I care, I really value further education because I don't want to be a nurse that's, not that there's anything wrong with it, but that's doing the same thing all the time. Like I want to get better and better and better. It's just how I am. That's how I'm like with my fitness. It's how I'm like with sports that I play. I want to get better and better. I'm like that with my career. So yeah. Yeah, that's it. I don't know. I think we had some more questions, but that's about the basis of it. So I thought it was a pretty decent interview. So yeah, I hope they get back to me. And if they don't, it's not meant to be. It's all good. We'll just keep on pushing. Not much of a rush. I did a bit of a thought experiment. I was like, let's say hypothetically, I get into the ICU ASAP and then graduate as a CRNA versus taking my sweet ass time as a CRN or as an ICU nurse getting into the ICU. Let's say it takes me like a year and a half. Let's say it almost takes me 2 years to get into the ICU. That means I'll become a CRNA at either age 28 or age 30. I feel like the difference is very negligible, and like I'm going to accomplish it anyway, Like worst case scenario, I'll become a CRNA at like 30, 31, 32. Like I'm pretty sure that life is going to still be fine. You know what I mean? And also the benefit to taking forever to become a CRNA is I get to enjoy myself for longer, right? So that's good. That's very good. I got to save up money and actually enjoy myself. So I feel like it's fine. Like either way, I'll be fine, ultimately. So yeah, I'll keep on trying, of course, and we'll see how things go. So yeah, also, I didn't upload yesterday, but this is a fat one for y'all today. So yeah. All right, that was it. Now I'm going to go see Project Hail Mary. That shit's going to be a banger. Watch it not be a banger. Watch it suck.